Let me move my mic closer. Welcome to your April soul session. I'm Princess India if you're new. And if you're family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot, or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. First, we're going to be looking at an overall energy as well as a challenge. And then we're going to get into a more specific spread to, see what's going on with you guys in, the month of April. I hope you guys have been doing well, Leo. Dagnabbit son of a gun. So anywho, let's go ahead and jump into these cards. I'm pulling the cards for your second spread for continuity and whatnot or whatever. So anywho, overall energy for why is the Knight of Wands stalking every sign? We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse as you guys' overall energy. This is challenged by the Judgment in the reverse. Okay, so I'm going to clarify this just because the Knight of Wands has literally been coming out for everyone. So what is this Knight of Wands about? Okay, 2 cards. All right, we have the World in the reverse. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think sort of kind of the World in the reverse and Patience. So here is the dealio. So Leo, it is not time to act. It is not time to move forward at present, especially because it's about to be Mercury retrograde. I don't know when you're going to watch this, but we're about to go into Mercury retrograde. I have a course on it on my network. It's free, and my network is also free, so go join it and take the course. But anyway, during Mercury retrograde, we should not be taking action on new things. It is not the ideal time to do so, So I feel that there is a little bit of an energetic block for you guys. And I know and love a lot of Leos, and I know you guys like to get her done. You know what I'm saying? But now isn't necessarily the time. So with the Patience card, it's all about what it literally is. It's understanding divine timing, that sometimes there are cycles of rest and beingness and receiving, and then there's times to take action. But overall, the month of April for you guys, for whatever it is that you might have on your mind, now is not the time for you guys to take action on it, because there are some loose ends that need to be tied up. There's some things that you guys need to take care of before, you pull the trigger, so to speak, right? So the challenge with the Judgment card, and I feel the need to say this, is how this kind of feels for me is whatever this is we're talking about that you guys would want to take action on. It's almost like energetically, like it feels like it's coming from your gut almost. You know what I mean? It's almost like ants in your pants, for lack of better term. It feels like ants in your pants. Like it would feel almost to you like if I don't act on this now, I would miss out or I would lose. But I feel that there's if you guys were to kind of follow that, because I'm saying it feels like it's coming from your gut, but it's not, and my guides are saying the place that it's coming from is a place of lack and like fear. So it seems like it's coming from your gut, but it's not, right? So it's coming from a place of like FOMO, in so many words. Like it's a fear of missing out, and it's like you'd be acting in fear, but the timing isn't right, right? So it's almost how it's coming to me is if you were to throw caution to the wind and act on this, I feel like it would kind of make stuff a lot more muddled, like something that could be easy for you to kind of like step into and then it unfolds, which shows that it's in alignment. It's kind of like if you act before it's time, it's kind of like creating unnecessary issues, if that's making sense. And the thing that always comes to mind when I see an energy signature like this, those of you who have the Chakra Oracle deck, there's a card in there. I forgot what the name of the card is, but it's like a guy who, it's like a ladder and he's holding like the string and there's like a moon in the sky. And it's talking about this guy who was like afraid that like spirit would forget to put the moon up, right? So he goes and buys a used moon as if there's stores to buy old moons. But he goes to the store and buys an old moon, and he fixates it in the sky and holds on to this string so it doesn't fall. And then he falls asleep. And when he wakes up, the fake moon is blocking the sun. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like, it's a lack there. What it's speaking to is a lack thereof of trust in the divine, or if you don't want to look at it that way, it's a lack thereof of trusting the process. And it's a lack mentality and a fear of not having. So it's like kind of trying to, jump ahead to prevent a fear from happening, in so many words. But that would be the process of how one is undermining themselves or self-sabotaging, right? And that's ultimately what's preventing you from leveling up, you know? And a very tangible way I can give this to you, thanks to my guides. I can't take credit for that because they just shot me that. And I was like, that is a perfect example. But if I were to put this in the context of finance, right? So hypothetically, your goal is to buy a car, right? So you're saving up money for a car. But, every time Fashion Nova has a sale, you know, every time your friend needs to borrow some money, or every day, like for work, it's like you're going to eat out for lunch or getting Starbucks every morning. And then it's like you're pissed off because, I don't know, something happens, your kid needs something for school or whatever, and you have to pay a fee, and it's like $100 at once, and you're like, see, this why I can't ever get no doggone car, because this school be having me paying all these $100 fees, da 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 da. Right? But we're totally not taking accountability for the fact that you're spending $9 every morning 5 days a week for coffee. Right? That you're spending $10 to $20 every day, 5 days a week, for lunch, and you're door dashing things on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? So aside from the $100 that you pay to your kid's school, we're not looking at how much money you're spending every day, thus every week, and adding that up for a whole month of how much money is slipping between your fingers, or how much money you're spending, at Fashion Nova. You know what I'm saying? So it's like secretly undermining yourself, but not seeing it that way. Because, like, honestly, if you guys did the math on that for my mathers out there, if you think about in a month, right? If a person were to spend, so there's 4 weeks in a month. If a person were to spend $9 every morning, right, for breakfast or coffee or whatever, and a person were to spend, $10 to $20 every day for 5 days for 4 weeks, you do the math on that, put it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? That's how much money could be saved every month to put towards this hypothetical vehicle that we're talking about. You feel what I'm saying? But it's the thought of instant gratification, like having that Starbucks in the morning, instant gratification, not having to, bring your lunch and potentially eat something that you don't feel like eating for lunch, right? Being able to just leave and go get whatever it is that you are in the mood for that day, instant gratification. Not having to allocate time on your Sunday to meal prep for the entire week and do what you want to do on Sunday. Instant gratification. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel the overall energy of what it is my Leos are going to be dealing with in the month of April is pretty much this contrast between instant gratification, I want it, I need it now, confusing that with a gut instinct, and seeing what's happening in that meantime, in between time. So like that discomfort for Leo. And this is kind of in contrast to what I saw for Taurus. It's like for Taurus, it's a need to address this uncomfortable thing and work through it. So for Taurus, it's like, I'm mismanaging my money. Now I have to go through the grueling process of managing my money, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to pretend like this isn't happening. You know what I'm saying? And for Leo, I feel it's a little more complex because it's similar for you guys, where like the theme for Taurus is really the best way out is through. So the same for my Leos. However, I feel there's like an additional, it's almost like the ante is upped for Leo because not only is it that you have to go through long drawn out bullshit to get to your solution, but it's also this other energy that's like, do it now, right? So how it is that you're circumventing this is because these things are coming up. Do it now. We need it now. And you're like, okay, but every time you take that jump to get that instant gratification, and I don't feel you guys are seeing it that way, the way that you're taking this jump on the seeming, gut instinct, you're jumping right over the thing that you need to be focused on. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's misjudging or like a lack of connection with what one is feeling on the inside, in a sense, like the difference between an intuitive hit or a gut instinct and like a trauma trigger almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like confusing that in a sense, but the main thing with this is the issue is patience and time, and delayed gratification is really what the issue is here, and that being the thing that's preventing you from getting to this overall end goal that you're trying to get to, which is very much in alignment with the rest of the collective. I hope and pray that that makes sense, Leo. Now, getting into your more specific spread, the card, your central energy representing you all for the month of April, we have the Two of Cuppies in the reverse, your past influence, child. We have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, your hidden influence. Why are all of these cards stalking everyone? We have the Knight of Cuppies in the reverse, your above energy, which is your potential outcome, child. We have the Temperance in the reverse, that's Sagittarius energy, and what to look out for moving forward. We have the Page of Wands. I actually like that here. So here is the thing, Leo, looking at the latter part of March coming into April with this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse for me is sloppy craftsmanship, and not saying that you guys are literally doing this like with your work or anything. Is just an energy signature, and this energy signature is very much what I described in your overall energy. It's like it's skipping steps, it's wanting to, like, the instant gratification is wanting to get to the instant gratification, as opposed to recognizing that in life, just in general, there's a certain level of delayed gratification. If you want to put food in the microwave, that's delayed gratification. Like, you want the food, you want it now, but you have to put it in the microwave to warm it. You know what I'm saying? If we want food, if we plant a crop, we have to wait for the crop to grow. Delayed gratification. You feel what I'm saying? Even if you order something from DoorDash, right? You still got to wait for the delivery driver to get there. That's delayed gratification. You feel what I'm saying? But with this, it's more or less in the last month, I feel whatever this is that we're about to talk about here that occurred in March, like how this kind of, I don't want to say how it got started, but I would say the climax, like the climax of what it is that we're talking about. This is occurring in, or occurred rather, in March, right? And I feel coming into April, you guys kind of have hints of this, but I don't feel you necessarily have clarity of what it is that is happening. So if I were to put it in the context of like hitting a roadblock in some way, shape, form, or fashion, it's like you guys are at the middle point of a cycle that you've been in several times before, but you're kind of looking around like it. Okay, thank you. It's like the example that I gave of the person who's trying to buy a car. It's like the point in that story that Leo was in the latter part of March coming into April, is your kids saying that they need a $100 fee from school. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the thing hits you where you're like, dang, like if it wasn't for these people always asking me for money, I would have been had a car by now, right? So with you sitting here listening to me now, right, we're at the part of the story where it's, we need to take a step back and kind of look at our overall picture of why is it that we really don't have money for our car, right? It's like, how many times has your kid's school asked for $100? And this is something funny I can tell you from my life that I literally just did. And I think I probably do this every couple of years. So every time something breaks on my car or goes out on my car, I'm like, God damn it, I just gave these people money to fix this and da, 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 da," right? So like my headlight, when my headlight went out, I was like, I just bought damn headlights for this car, right? But I'm a stickler for keeping receipts. So I was about to be like, they got something wrong with this headlight. I have to have some type of warranty on this or whatever. I go look at my little folder. The last time that I bought headlights for my car was 5 years ago. Yeah. And I felt the way about myself. And I started thinking, I was like, dog, every time something goes wrong, I'm always like, I just spent money on this. I literally went back and looked at everything. Last time I got tires, last time I switched out my brake lights, like literally all the things. And it's literally been years since I have replaced anything on my car. And to me, it feels like it was just yesterday when it's literally been years. You feel what I'm saying? And those of you who know a lot about cars, do not judge me, okay? Because me taking care of cars is just, I'm not good at it. It's not one of my strengths, right? But at least I keep receipts. Okay, anywho. But literally, it's kind of something like that. Like we could have an extremely long period of time that has happened in between the last time we spent money on something, but just because it was a large amount, for some reason, I don't know, our brain crunches them together as if we were spending a ton of money. I feel something like that is kind of what's happening to Leo. So if you were to use that as your point of like, I keep giving these people money, that's why I can't buy a car, do like I did. Look at the receipts and look at every time that you've given money to this particular thing, right? And then add all of that up. If that doesn't equal a hypothetical car, then now we need to start digging a little deeper. So I'm not saying for everyone that it is a financial thing. I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? It's something that Leo is blaming for why it is that they're not where it is that they want to be, or why they haven't obtained something it is that they are working towards. But there's something that's like, it's almost like it's in one of those doggone decks. I think it's the Kipper deck. They have this mouse card. It's an energy of what that card means. That card means it's like something is slowly eating away. So it's like if you have a nest egg of something, it's something that's slowly trickling away at it. So when you finally go to look back, like everything's gone. That's very much the energy that I'm seeing with this Eight of Pentacles here. But this is not a one-time occurrence. This is a place that Leo consistently finds themselves in for different situations over and over. So the energy signature is there's an end goal that you're trying to get to, and it's something you feel is undermining. But the thing that you're blaming for undermining you hitting this particular end goal is not the thing. It's something that you're doing that has a mouse energy that's slowly eating away at it. I hope and pray that that's making sense, right? Now, when we're looking at the card that's, I just made the grossest faces. I was itching my eye. Sorry about that. Sorry, you guys had to see that. Anyway, but with this Two of Cups in the reverse, and especially with your outcome being this Temperance in the reverse, that's a tad concerning for me. With this being an outcome, but more or less me seeing it from the perspective of there's on a micro level and a macro level. There's a gross imbalance that's happening here. So it's something that Leo is doing or not doing, and it's very off kilter. Like it's something that you're, and I said this with Libra. If you have that in your chart, check it out. But how I explained it to them, because they had the Two of Cups too, it's like a masculine and feminine energy in the sense of if you looked at feminine as emotions and you looked at the masculine as logic, or as the masculine as action and the feminine as inaction. And I feel like that's actually more appropriate for you guys, given the overall being the Knight of Wands in the reverse. It's like you guys are doing, but you're not taking time being. So it's like you're exerting a lot of energy, but there's no rest that's being had. And if you continue to exert your energy, of course, you would burn out. You feel what I'm saying? So, with this Knight of Cups in the reverse being in you guys' hidden influence, this is really saying to me, Leo, you're not really replenishing yourself in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So, this can either be you spending money, like, say, if you have a lump sum of money or a savings, you're taking money out, but you're not replenishing it, right? Or, you're working a shit ton, doing a lot of stuff, taking care of everybody else, but you're not spending time to take care of yourself. You driving everybody and their mama to doctor's appointments, but you're not taking yourself to the doctor. It's that kind of gross indifference that I'm seeing here. And what the need is here is to bring this energy back to the self. So it's almost like well, I mean, it's just like I said with that mouse energy. It's literally like having a bucket of water with a hole in it, or your gas tank having a hole in it. It's like something is being bled out from you. And mind you, all of this stuff is happening underneath it all, despite what it is that we're talking about directly in this overall energy. This bleeding out energy is what's coming from your challenge. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel why this is just a big warning, Leo. Let me just say it that way. This is a big warning, and almost like you guys are being set up for the okey doke, because how I'm feeling it, and it's not like scary type of thing, but if you're driving home and there's a hole in your gas tank, like how I'm seeing this, it's like you're 2 blocks from your house and there's a hole in your gas tank. If you were to go straight home, you would realize there's a hole in your gas tank when you got home. And, thank goodness you're home, right? So you can, fix the problem, proverbially speaking, right? But it's like you're right about to turn on your street. Like what I'm seeing with all of this together, you're right about to turn on your street. And this seeming gut instinct is like, you should go to Walmart. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you should go to Target because there's something really dope at Target, right? And you're like, oh, yeah, since I'm already out, I should go to Target. They might have something in that dollar section, that I really need. You know what I'm saying? So you decide to keep going, not knowing there's a hole in your gas tank, and say there's a huge distance between your house and Target, and you have to go through this middle of nowhere type of area before you get there. And now you're stuck without gas in the middle of nowhere. There's no gas station in sight. And even if there was, there is still a hole in your gas tank type of thing. That's what it is that I'm seeing with this energy. So it's kind of like two different things that are happening at once. But this is indicative of a cycle that Leo and my guides are telling me, like, I don't know which part of this. I don't know if it's the mouse part, like the underlying part, or if it's the overlaying part, but there's one part of this that Leo up until now, so this is like how I was saying with everyone. This eclipse energy is like bringing something to the forefront for everyone that, and it would probably be the mouse energy, to be honest with you. It's like there's something that's been happening under the surface for the entire collective that we have not been aware has been the root of a lot of our issues. So there's stuff on the surface that's happening that's easy to identify, but it's like that mouse energy has been happening for all of us. And this eclipse is giving us a chance for the first time to shine light on it and seeing like your proverbial house is infested with mice. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it's one of these things that Leo is not aware has been happening underneath it all. And why I feel like this is coming up is because it's giving you an opportunity to recognize it. And like I said, with the outcome being the temperance and the reverse, I feel it's more likely for the surface thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we use it as your kid's school and the money you're giving them, that's going to be something easy for you to recognize. Even though you have free will, you can choose to give them the money or not, right? But I feel the thing that's going to be harder is, like, it's easy for us to accept that someone else has fucked us over. It's a little bit more difficult for us to accept that we're fucking ourselves over. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this temperance being a major arcana here, this is a heavy hitter because acknowledging I'm spending too much money giving my proverbial, well, hypothetical kid school all of this money, like that's easier for us to say yes or no to. The challenge is really going to be not seeing it, but acknowledging it and accepting that and actually taking action to shift that. And that's what brings us into this page of wands here with what to look out for moving forward. Because with this page of wands, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Leo, there's some level of starting at ground zero that this is going to require. So if I piggyback on me talking about Taurus's reading, and Taurus, like, if it's like a financial type of thing, it's like the long drawn out bullshit is the fact of accepting I don't know how to manage my money, right? The long drawn out bullshit is going to be getting out a piece of paper and a pen, writing down all of your bank accounts, how much is in each of them, writing down all of your bills and how much, adding all that up, how much expenses do you have per month? Looking at all of your paychecks, are those consistent? How much is coming in every month? What is the difference between what I'm putting out and what it is I have coming in, and starting to create a plan of what your financial goals are, how much extra money you need, and doing the nitty gritty of that, right? That's what this page of wands is speaking of. It's having to go back to the drawing board and kind of start at kindergarten, and in some sense or another, not saying that you guys think that you're, hypothetically or proverbially rather, I love how I switch those two, but how you're proverbially, it's not saying you see yourself as like, oh, you're in the 12th grade, right? But it literally could be that, you know what I'm saying? It's having the illusion thereof of control in a life situation when you really don't. You know what I'm saying? It's the equivalent of getting your tax return and feeling like feeling a sense of comfort because you got buku money in the bank, right? But not thinking about the fact that every time you take money out of that, like the stuff that you usually can't afford, now it's like you're swiping. Thank you, guys. That's actually a perfect example of this energy signature I'm seeing. When you get a tax return, it's a lump sum of money, even though it's taken incrementally out of your check throughout the course of the year. It's the fact that you have a lump sum of money that you don't usually have. So if you're on a budget every month, with your paycheck, because you make so much and you usually don't get Starbucks every day and you usually don't, eat out lunch every day, because you have this big lump sum of money, you feel like, oh yeah, well, I can afford that. It's just $9 here. It's just $10 here, right? But the truth of the matter is, every time you're taking that $9 and $10 out, you're not taking money from your check and putting that back, right? Because you didn't get $9 coffees and $10 lunches before you had your tax return. You feel what I'm saying? Because that wasn't in the budget. So now you're incrementally taking this down, and eventually there's not going to be anything left because it's not being replenished with anything. So once that money is gone, you're back to the same amount of money that you made every single month. And now it's back to stress until tax time next year. And this is a collective problem. This is something that I watch people do every single year. This is the same thing people do during Christmas time. There's Christmas clubs at banks. People can take $12 out of each paycheck and put it into a Christmas club so that you're not taking money out of a paycheck and, not paying certain bills to buy your kids stuff for Christmas. You feel what I'm saying? It's like thinking ahead. And that's what I'm seeing between like this patience card and this 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like you're being given an opportunity to see like both sides of it. Because I feel up until now, Leo has only seen one side. I'm paying the school too much money. I ain't giving that school no more money, right? But you haven't been seeing how it is that you're undermining yourself underneath over time, because it's so much in small increments. You're not seeing that. You feel what I'm saying? But it's in the month of April, it's going to be shown to you 360 degrees. You're going to see the whole picture, and then you make your decision from there. The hardest thing about this, Leo, is going to be this Page of Wands energy. It's you knowing what it is you need to do for things to change, but having to accept that you're going to have to start from ground zero. And the thing that they're telling me, which is interesting, and I'm not about to tell this whole thing all over again, but for somebody out there, this has something to do with like career. So whatever it is that you're doing in your career, it's, and please don't take this the wrong way, Leo. I love Leos. But it's, you have the illusion of success with what it is that you're doing right now. So I don't know. I can like I'll use myself as an example just to kind of make this make sense. So like me being on YouTube, right? It's like I could pretend that I'm somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like, "Oh, I have 100, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. I have a silver button. Wait, I think it's that way. I have a silver button, right? Like, ooh, I'm somebody, right? I could play that up in life, you know what I'm saying? And have the illusion of something, right? Now in reality, it don't mean nothing because I don't make no money on YouTube. Y'all know I'm back just because I love y'all. I got today job. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's like I don't make no money like on YouTube. But I mean, from an external follower, subscriber kind of sense, it kind of looks like something, but is like in reality it's not that big of a deal. But I could play that up into being a big deal, like I'm a YouTuber, right? Now the thing would be, literally, if I were playing up this whole thing, I'm somebody, but then it gets to a point where, ooh, child, your car gonna get repossessed, now I'm about to go into foreclosure. You know what I'm saying? I got to go get a job, right? That's like having to step down off of this thing that's been built up into something, but knowing deep down inside, right? Because I'm trying to paint a picture for you. It's like me knowing I don't make no money off of this. And if I was out here, on Instagram and pretending like I lived the life of luxury, but then it's gotten to the point that you can't keep it up anymore and having to go get a real job, and the contrast that you're dealing with is the fact that you have to give up this persona that you've created to now go back and work a regular job. You know what I'm saying? Like going from being a YouTuber or a TikToker, you know what I'm saying? And you have to go like stock shelves at Target. You feel what I'm saying? It's like that kind of thing. And not saying that's literally happening in anyone's life, but it's that kind of contrast. And the biggest challenge that this person would be dealing with is that you're having to step away from this, I don't want to say illusion, because like if I could clarify that, I don't necessarily feel like Leo was like faking the funk on purpose. I think it was more like a fake it till you make it type of thing, and then hitting that blockade. But the big challenge of why you want to hold on to it is because it has a status to it, but it's just not a workable status. And it's not wanting to have to step down back to here. But again, it's not necessarily saying stocking shelves at Target is down here. I'm saying from whoever would resonate with this message, that's the perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel in reality, if I were to step out of that and to just give you my personal judgment on it, I feel like pretending to be on a certain level. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're, an influencer or whatever, and you really not making no money, but you just pretending that you are, I feel like that is the worst situation to be in than a person who's going to work every day, stocking shelves at Target and making a consistent paycheck and able to pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? To me, that has more value than faking the funk. You feel what I'm saying? But there's some sort of differentiation with that. And it's really an ego thing, to be honest with you, to where it's perceiving oneself as stepping down. The other example of that is, like I said, like with Taurus's reading, it's having to accept, okay, I'm really not making enough money and I'm living beyond my means. And now I really need to look at, the nitty gritty and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a reality check, because it was even with Libra too. I'm just gonna tell everybody, y'all need to watch all 12 signs, child. Look, because the Libra was a similar thing. No, it was Aquarius, I think. It's like this differentiation to what is being projected out and what's actually happening. And it's almost being oblivious to this gap. And this whole month is about seeing this gap and having like a reality check almost of like, this is what's really going on. Right. And of course, with that, you have the choice of either, taking this road, starting back from ground zero and building this up the right way, or you could stay in Delulu land. You know what I'm saying? But I hope and pray that that made sense. I love how, when we're about to wrap up all the signs, how all of these soul sessions just started getting longer. But anywho, you let me know what you guys think in the comments and what the heck it is that I'm talking about, Leo. Let me know, because I don't know what we're talking about specifically. But anywho, I love your freaking face, Leo, and I will see you guys.